Yeah. What's good, young? Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to cook something. Man, we have a great show today. Shout out to Be Exposed Radio, the number one new radio show, that is. It's time to cook something with hilarious Omar. We have a great show for you guys this evening. I am accompanied by a special guest, none other than social media star, the Kid Gowie is in the building. Yeah, man. First and foremost, how you feeling today, King?
Hey, man, I'm feeling great. You know, staying safe, staying out the way, but, you know, maintaining my health and all that other good stuff. So I really can't complain. How about you, brother?
Hey, not too bad, man. I'm glad to have you on my show. Thank you for accepting the offer to come on here and kick it with me. The people love you. I'm a big fan of yours.
Appreciate
it's really good to have people that are doing their thing actually from the DMV area come and collab, man. So I want to just give a big shout out to you for coming on. Originally, we were supposed to have you and Dante Green show up on the show. He's another Baltimore basketball legend. So if you guys don't know who the Kid Gowie is, first and foremost,
get familiar.
You have to, because this kid is literally like the Mount Rushmore of NBA, like keeping us updated with the NBA, his social commentary, his sketches, just knowing so much about the sport and what's going on and keeping it fresh. Gowie, I got to ask you, how did you get started? Because the people need to know.
It's funny because like I've been creating content since 2012. So I've been in this for the longest. I've just been doing things from parodies to, you know, just different things like that. But I end up blowing up from the Lebron James challenge. And after that, I felt like my lane was just sports, because I actually went to school for sports journalism, but a lot of people don't know that. And I kind of felt like my life came in full circle because I blew up from a LeBron video. It led to me doing LeBron videos. Then it led to me showcasing my knowledge in the sports lane. So,
shout out to you, because it's, you know, one thing to try something and do something once, but to continue to be consistent about what your passion is, that's very hard for people to do, man. So, you know, with you, say the name. Matter of fact, what college did you go to?
I actually went to the University of Baltimore.
University of Baltimore.
Yeah, so
okay.
I graduated with my AA from Hartford Community College, and that's out in Hartford County. And then I went to UB for a little bit.
So you a Hartford County nigga for real?
It's hard because like it's funny because I'm born in Baltimore City, Wolfen Monument. Then I bounced around from different areas in Baltimore because, you know, I don't want to be that nigga where somebody asks me where you from and then I'd be like, oh, I'm from everywhere. Then they think you bluffing.
Right.
So it's like, nah, like I'm really from everywhere. Like I bounced around a lot throughout my childhood, but I went to high school in Hartford County and then I've been there ever since. So
let me get one time for the people out there that don't think he's certified, man. One time, Gowie, let me get a fuck it is, dummy.
Hey, fuck it is, dummy.
There you go. All right. Hey, Baltimore, show the man some love.
Hey, show me some love with your dumb ass.
Stupid. Yeah, man. So, you know, as I mentioned before, being on the Mount Rushmore of sports commentary, like how does that feel? Where do you feel? You know, you really got your foot in the door once it was like solidified, because that's a huge achievement. You're up there with you know, other notable social media personalities that also do similar things of what you do when it comes to sports.
Yeah. I feel like it's really great, and it's a blessing, to be honest, because a lot of these guys that you're referring to, the famous Loses, the B.A.5s, like those guys, they were like the guys who really paved the way for all of us.
Right.
So to even be mentioned in the same breath as them is really crazy, because like I was watching their videos, laughing at that content and thinking to myself like, yo, I can possibly do something like that. But just like put my own twist on it. And then, you know, I kick it with them and they tell me all the time, like, yo, you way too talented and stuff like that. And this, that, and the third. And I'm like, the fact that you get respect from the OGs in a sense, even though we are within the same age range, like they had clout longer than I have. So it's a different type of respect that I have for them versus me just coming in and acting like I run it.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's the thing. It's very important that you show people that have paved the way for your creative genius as well. Like we all pull from different places. You got to give people that came before you, you know, certain level of respect. Now we live in an era where we want to take and give nothing. Yeah. Even if it's acknowledgement, we don't want to give it because we are fearful for whatever reason for somebody else to shine or somebody else to be acknowledged. And, you know, up here, you know, I do this show for the culture. You know,
sure.
When it's time to cook something, you know, that's a statement for the culture, you know.
But you know, that's really what it's all about, man. Like, one thing that I've never shied away from is paying homage to people that came before me, paying homage to those who influenced me to do something.
Right.
And also just giving people their flowers while they still can smell them. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, they want to wait to the last minute, but like, yo, he inspired me to do this. Like, why ain't you tell him that while he was still breathing? So
right.
I just always felt it was corny to try to hide where you got ideas from. I don't care if it was somebody with 20 followers. If I felt like that was something that they inspired me to do, I'm gonna shout them out.
Exactly. Hey, to the producer of our show, if it's possible, before we get there, I just want to know, and you don't have to go on air, if you could just signal to me. There was a viral video that I seen of yours, and this is what brought the attention to make me a fan.
Mm-hmm.
It was the summer where I want to say that all creatives, especially if you didn't already have maximum exposure,
mm-hmm.
you were trying to figure out what your lane was going to be, what type of content you can make to really give you that buzz. What was the video that really set it off? Because I think I know which video it is, but I'm gonna let you tell the people.
Right.
What was the video that really set it off for you and put you off into social media stratosphere?
Like I said earlier in the show, it was that LeBron James challenge when LeBron James was in the locker room. He had shaved his head, got a bald head, and he started dancing in the locker room singing T Grizzly.
T Grizzly. Shout out to T Grizzly.
Yeah, big shout out to T Grizzly, man. That man changed my life in a very great way. So yeah, it was one of those situations. I had a bald head already because I did a Tupac parody.
Okay.
So All Eyes on Me had just dropped, and I was doing a video where like pretty much I'm a guy that was a big fan of Tupac. I'm dressed like Tupac, like, yo, come on, we gotta go watch the movie. And then I also play myself as a friend, just flaming me up, calling myself like Tay Diggs and Little Bill and a Hungry Nate Dog and stuff like that.
Little Bill though? So Hungry Nate Dog, that's funny, man.
So I'm flaming myself up, and I had a baldy from that. And then one of my homies, he tagged me. Actually, it's Detronada's brother, since we, you know, keeping it local. But Detronada, you know, the MC out of Baltimore, it's her brother, Platinum J. He had tagged me in the post of LeBron doing the challenge, and I'm like, you know, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know why he tagged me in this. It's cool. But then I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, yo, I got this bald head. He tagged me in this post. This thing looked like it's about to go viral, so let me just try it. And bro, that joint went crazy.
It went crazy, bro. I think it got on ESPN, didn't it?
Bro, everything. ESPN, Shade Room, House of Highlights did a piece on me. And after that, like, I tweeted who has a better LeBron James challenge than me. T Grizzly saw it. He tweeted it and he retweeted and was like, let's make this go viral. And that's why I said T Grizzly changed my life, because after that, it wasn't no looking back.
Niggas prayed on my downfall. Show you niggas how to ball. Fuck you talking about? You better cook, bro.
Hey, I'm trying to tell him.
Hey, to the producer on the show, if it's possible, if you could pull that video up, I know that the people at home that are looking at the live stream, they'll be able to see it through video. We'll be able to hear it. If you could find that video, LeBron James, the Kid Gowie, side by side, bald heads. You young to have a bald head though. I'm gonna let you know right now.
Hey,
that's
look,
a certain level of maturity.
Look, man, genetics. Pops had a bald head, so I knew it was coming. I wasn't blessed with a good hairline. My hairline was pushed back since the age of 3. So I went through all the jokes in elementary, middle, and high.
Damn.
That's why I got tough skin, though.
Grown man at 3, rocking a bald head in the hallways. Was motherfuckers slapping you? You remember the?
Nah, that's a good thing. Nobody
ever smacks.
Nah, I had hair at that time, so I kind of got to dodge that. I didn't go for the baldy until that summer with the LeBron joint, and then after that, I felt like it was good luck, so I kept it.
What type of ball do you have? Do you have the George Jefferson?
Oh hell nah, my joint ain't that the pushback. I got like the Stephen A, where it's somewhat salvageable. It's somewhat salvageable, but it's like, nah, bro, just let it go. So
you better not dare grow one of them Stephen A bushes. I be cooking Stephen A every time he go viral on something. I'll take that opportunity to punish Stephen A.
Hey, bro, whenever I do my Stephen A videos, I be pushing his joint all the way back to the middle of my head, and people be like, yo, stop doing his hairline like that. I'm like,
that nigga bush is like a camel toe from the 70s. God damn, Stephen A. I can't wait to really, really be famous, because this motherfuckers, they gonna hate me. Or they gonna love me. because it's time to cook something.
I feel like a lot of these dudes hate me on the low though. Like Stephen A, Shannon Sharp. Like when I do all these impersonations, I feel like everybody gets credit for their impersonations but me. And I don't take it as like I deserve more clout. I deserve, like, it's nothing like that. But it's like, I know you see it, bro. Like mad people will retweet it.
It's impossible. Once you've been around for a while and been doing it consistently, it's impossible.
I've done it too many times for y'all to not at least acknowledge it once. And it's like, I think it's just one of those things like, nah, he trying to play me. But like I said, I be pushing Stephen A joint to the middle of my head. So I
mean, literally, it is in the middle of his head. So you doing justice right there. For the people watching at home, do not go anywhere. Continue to tune in. We're definitely going to have a Q&A where we interact with you guys and answer some of the questions that you might have. So don't go anywhere. So with this LeBron video, to the producer, if you can let me know whether or not you'll be able to play that video on screen for the people at home to show his viral video, just let me know. I'm actually in the chat room right now, so I can see everything that's coming in. We got Dante. Shout out to Dante. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Tom. Shout out to Richard. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know there's a lot more of you, and feel free to buzz in. BeExposedRadio.com live stream, YouTube stream. So, I used to play a little bit of ball myself, man.
Yeah, you told me.
I played.
But was you nice though? Because a lot of people say they play ball, but did you play ball or were you just on the team?
Hey, listen. Let me get into it first and foremost, okay? All right. When I came up, all right, I was one of the most sought after, underrated recruits out of Maryland.
Okay.
I came up in the same draft class. Let's not go to draft class. I didn't get drafted. I came up in the same high school class as the likes of Kevin Durant, Ty Lawson,
okay,
Mike Beasley,
sheesh,
Nolan Smith. So if you're from the DMV, we are rich in basketball and football tradition. Dave East was played at one of my rival high schools. That's what some of y'all don't know about Dave East. So when Faison Love came out blasting Dave East for being a fake whatever, at the end of the day, I will say he never talks about Maryland or the DC area because that's where he really got his talents together. And he was a stand-up guy when I met him. I don't know where all this hood shit is coming from because I believe, seriously, man, I believe like I come from a background like everybody in my family, I'm not gonna say everybody, I'm not gonna do that, but my big brothers and everybody, we was in the streets, man. My mother, had a drug problem. So the only reason why I really played basketball was one, to dunk on niggas, and two, to try to get my family out the hood and play in the NBA.
Sure.
I came across Dave East, and then years later, Dave East goes to become, his real name is David Brewster. And y'all can Google that at home if you're tuning in. And this isn't to take away any street cred. Anybody knows me, I have the rights to say what the hell I'm saying. I don't never go above or below my lane, if that makes sense. But he was a stand-up guy. He was an outstanding player. It was one game I never forget because, when you are on varsity, you go, once your game is done, the next day you go grab a Washington Post so you can see your stats the next day. That's what we all used to do. And there was one game, Dave dropped 41 in a game, bro.
Dang.
And I know it's some, other crazy stats out there, but that's just to show you, you could be good at one thing, but still not be great enough to ascend to the next level. And, a number of other things, things that a lot of, we see it in the NBA. A lot of people you got people that have mishaps or issues off the court per se. And I think when I played at Coppin State University, he was at Richmond playing for the Spiders. And we went to Richmond and there was no Dave Brewster. Right. Or also known as Dave East. And it was at that point that I researched, and he had a lot of issues off the court at that school. And I think that's when he also made his transition into the hip hop game.
Yeah.
But not to get too far off topics, that LeBron James video, that's where I became a fan. And I started watching your content and seeing you go from that video. And the one thing at home that people need to understand is once you find that glory video, as an influencer, you don't have shit else. So now you have to scrape up your creative genius to try to keep going because now you have fans. Now you have what you wanted. Now you have the eyes on you. How hard was it to keep going? Because I seen other videos right after that. You do a great James Harden parody.
Mm-hmm.
You've done so many other NBA players. How hard was it to keep it going once you had that huge hit?
In the beginning, it was hard because those people came for a specific reason.
Right.
So it's like if you go viral for something, people are going to want more of that one thing. So when I did the LeBron challenge, obviously I imitated LeBron for I imitated one of LeBron's IG stories. Boom. Now every single time LeBron uploads an IG story that's funny, people DMing me, boom, boom, tagging me in it, like, yo, you know what to do. Like,
yeah.
It says, and it gets to the point like, yo, now I feel like y'all trying to bitch me talking about you know what to do. Like,
right. Like you work for them and shit.
Yeah. So like I went through that whole thing. I'm like, bro, like the LeBron thing was cool. I gave people what they wanted. I gave them about like 6 or 7 of them. And I was like, all right, bro, like I'm a grown ass man myself. I'm not about to keep impersonating this grown ass man on some, weird stuff. Cause from my perspective, if I put up a video that was funny, you went viral from it, cool. But every time I did an IG story and you copied the same thing,
yeah,
like time after time after time, like, all right, bro, like now it's getting weird. Like you ain't got nothing else to do. Like you don't have no other gimmick. So with me, it was kind of like, I just shelved that like completely. And then I started doing LeBron skits.
Right.
And then once I got into the skits, people was like, oh no, he's actually funny. He's not just a guy who just copies LeBron.
Right.
And that's kind of just how I just rode the momentum on forward.
And as an artist, I think it becomes, part of it is you want to be really respected. You don't want to be a gimmick guy, because there's a lot of gimmick people out there where they do the same thing over and over again. And sometimes it works, but if you're really a creative and you really want to be respected, you're going to continue to push yourself and not allow people to box you in. When you say people are DMing you saying you know what to do, almost like they do feel entitled. That's one of the things that I've dealt with even in my own career, especially being a social media personality. That was new for me because I was already 6 years in to being just a stand-up comedian. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want fame. I didn't want popularity. But unfortunately, we live in an era where if you want to make it, that comes with it.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
So like for me, I was doing the city to city impersonations.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with just Baltimore and DC. And people started to box me in. And I said, hold on, wait. This is my home base because I've lived in both. I'm not going to limit right here. I want y'all to know that you're watching something legendary. So I challenged myself. I do a Philly video or work on a Philly video, call my boy that I knew from school and be like, hey, this sound right? Mm-hmm. And I started doing my Philly shit. Same thing with New York. And then it got to a point where that's all people knew me for. And I was like, hold on, wait. I'm doing this because a lot of people, and I know we're going off topic from sports for just a second.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are viewing from home, they don't take time because it's instant. Instagram, it's instant. People don't take time to dig deeper from what they see. A lot of people are on the surface. So they'll see one thing and think from what they saw you one time, that's all you got.
Facts.
So my whole thing was, oh, nah, I'm so into this. I'm going to learn the dialect of every major city in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So I did New Orleans, Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore. I think I did one on Jersey, Chicago, Southern California, Northern California, and Atlanta. But it just got to a point where I'm like, hold on, wait. Am I boxing myself in from the other opportunities that are out there? Because I don't want to just be this guy that impersonates dialect.
No, that's a fact. And it's funny because like you were saying that you became a fan of me through the LeBron videos, and I became a fan of you through the Baltimore DC videos. Number one, you be killing me with that, what's good, y'all? Yeah, that joint be having me dying, so I'm not even lying to you. But yeah, it's like I became a fan of you. And even when we went to the DTLR event, I told you that day that we met, I was like, bro, like I was literally watching your video this morning. Yeah. So it's like, it's just funny how that works out. But yeah, that's a whole thing. Like, I think the good thing with you is that at least you were probably able to keep your name. Even if they didn't know your name, you were able to still keep that. Like they had to learn your name. With me, it was like, that's the LeBron guy.
Right.
So everywhere I went, it was like, yo, LeBron, or that's the LeBron guy, this, that. So it took me like a year and a half after that to try to get my name for people to recognize me as Gowie. Because it's like, I do more than that. I do the Stephen A, the James Harden, I do the parodies and stuff like that. So that was the hardest part about my transition and all that other good stuff. So yeah, I think that was a positive on your end. And you still, there wasn't a limit placed on you to a point to where you couldn't even use your own damn name. Like that's the craziest part.
Right. Well, it's our job as creatives, man, to continue to force that envelope. If people don't want to openly accept us and respect us, it's our job to keep working our craft to the point where people just do and they fall in love. Because we've seen a number of people, you know, go beyond or get where we're trying to get much faster. And I know that comes to strategy and strategizing. Possibly, we talked about earlier before we started the show, having a team is very essential. I know you've, you know, collab with a lot of people. 3 years ago, we did that collab and we happened to meet each other in person at DTLR.
Yeah.
You know, how's that relationship been? Like, what are some of the opportunities that DTLR has blessed you with?
Man, DTLR has been, you know, wonderful to me. We linked up at All-Star Weekend. I've done some things with them, Spray Ground. Was able to give out book bags to the kids and stuff like that out in Chi-Town. So yeah, DTLR, we actually started a new series called Hidden Gems. You can see it on their IGTV, where I pretty much take some hidden gems as far as fashion clothing, pieces that people are kind of overlooking because they may not feel like they can rock it. So we bring them to the light and show them how they can, you know, match the fits and stuff like that. Sneakers, whether it's Air Forces, New Balances, whatever. And we put those together and, you know, short and sweet, like a 1 minute, 1 minute 30 type of video. So yeah, DTLR, they've been really nice. I can't even lie to them. Shout out to DTLR.
Shout out to DTLR, man. Trying to bridge the gap in communities. What are some of the, because I've seen you had your own, like, people that want to support you. What's a brand or, you know, certain merchandise that you have?
So this hoodie that I got on right now, it say head ass on it. This is part of my merch. You can go to thekidgawi.com. I have different things that's, if you're a fan of mine, you know why it's there. So this head ass hoodie, somebody might see it and be like, why his hoodie say head ass? But like, if you watch my roast videos or whatever, you know that my tagline, after I'm flaming somebody else, hit us. So like people be like,
show them your face one time, man, because you done had the Sub-Zero mask, Scorpion mask on for the whole show. Let them know it's really you and shit.
Yeah, so you know it's me, hit us. So whenever you see the head ass on the hoodie, you know that's what it's referring to. I got like a tee of me dressed as LeBron and different things like that. So yeah, it's, you know, like I said, thekidgawi.com, you can check out the merch, but that's really just the brand. That my brand is my name, and that's kind of what I'm trying to push right now to get out that LeBron box.
Right. Who are some of the influencers that you've had the ability to work with? Because I've seen certain videos when I'm like, oh my goodness, this dude is in this position and working with that person.
Yeah, I mean, even outside of working with them, I just know a lot of people, bro. Like a lot of people mad cool with me. We've never had the luxury of working, but the ones that I have been able to work with, Famous Los, Filet.
Shout out to Los, man. Straight out of Baltimore, man. One of the illest spitters in the world. Gotta give my man props. I know Los personally, but that has nothing to do with, you know, how I respect him as a lyricist. And you also said
Krista Ace, Brianna Green, those are two former Globetrotters. Yeah, the list goes on, man. I'm real cool with Brian Davis, the comedian. That's my guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the list goes on. The funny thing is that I'm not too big on collaborations, only because it's kind of hard to get everybody on the same page.
Right.
So I do a lot of my comedy myself, but like there has been different, you know, collabs here and there. I've done NFL Pro Bowl advertisements and commercials with Destroying. He's like an NFL guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's the big dogs. Like I've worked with them all, and I think it's real dope to even be able to be in that type of upper echelon, because it's like those guys have millions of subscribers and followers. And here I am at the 100Ks, just up there with them. So I love it.
Well, head ass. Speaking of head ass, who would you give? Because I know you've watched. Who would you give top 5 roasters on Instagram?
Hey, on the spot with it. Top 5 roasters. Gotta take my V card in there.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna have to put what's your name? DK.
DK, okay.
Gotta put
Darius DK?
Yeah.
That Darius dude?
Shout out to DK.
Where is he from? Jersey?
Yeah, I think he is from Jersey.
Okay. That's 2.
I'm gonna throw you in there because you do your thing too.
Okay.
Oh, my boy Clyde Webb. There's a dude named Clyde Webb. If you don't know who he is, dude from Houston, hilarious, bro. He just did a video on Dwayne Wade recently, and I'm putting myself in there.
All right. Hey,
okay, like, look.
The fact that I'm in your top 5, man, hey, because at the end of the day, I ain't prime you up to be like, I ain't give you the emoji eyes or nothing like that. I just simply asked you off the muscle.
But here's the thing though, like when it comes to roasting, I feel like some people are too laid back with it, and if they aren't too laid back, they try too hard.
Right.
And it shouldn't really come off that hard. It should just be like, I'm delivering the line. Boom.
This is what you're good at.
Yeah. Right. So, I like DC Young Fly's roasting to a certain extent, but then I feel like sometimes it's more animated, which makes it funny versus the actual jokes he's saying.
Right.
So he'll be like, you hit it like a VCR, head at it. Right. Head at it. Ugly. It's like, it's more the taglines and the animation that makes it funny versus the actual jokes itself.
I mean, and this is no strike at these young. It's funny, and he actually put in the work to become funny. As far as when it comes to roasting, one of the hardest things for people at home to do is accept other people that also like start that never knew who I was we're not accepting this because DC Young Fly was doing it. I will real goat. Definitely Young Fly. I believe the challenge of he has to. He's a real motherfucker. So he would accept the challenge, but people give people that have the most notoriety the most credit. Mm-hmm. And there's other people out here that are doing the same thing and might even be better than the person that has the notoriety.
Mm-hmm. And once again, this is no slight to DC.
This is no slight to DC.
I just seen this man live in Baltimore. I paid to see him mid-pandemic. If they don't tell you something, like I could have got sick messing around being at his show. So like, big shout out to DC, huge inspiration. But that is a thing that comes with roasting. When you come into the game roasting, as soon as people see it, oh, he's trying to be DC Young Fly.
That's what I got all the time.
Same exact thing. Same exact thing. And it's like people, they see who popularized something and feel like you're copying them when it's really been the art for the whole time. Right. Even if you look at a Ha David, shout out to Ha, he cool too. But like it's cold. Like that's been a thing even the OGs was saying. Like when you wanted to put emphasis on something, like yo, you Mike, double up on it. Mike. Nah, I don't know Mike. Like that's always been a thing. So
and the thing is, an artist that receives credit for somebody else's work they're not going to come to the public and be like, hey, I want y'all to know, I know y'all love what I did there, but I actually was inspired by X, Y, and Z. They're not going to do that. Yeah. It's for y'all at home to understand. You can still be a fan of somebody, but for me, I had a situation with the referee thing, right? Yeah. There was an actual comedian that I was unaware of, but he actually, at the end of his set, he'll take off his regular clothes and he'll have a referee outfit on. Mm-hmm. But he does that in stand-up. So I said, I vow to never overstep boundaries and do that on stage. But as far as my character is completely different than what he does on stage anyway. Yeah. But I went on, for the record, I went on my social media platform, again, giving credit where it's due, showing respect to the other people that came before you. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I'm still succeeding. I'm still successful. And on top of that, I'm not a thief. I got a relationship with that guy. He did nothing but tip his hat because of how I went about it. But a lot of people are not willing to do that.
And the funny thing is, that's the easiest way to earn respect, bro. Like let's say if Ha Davis did know who the original person that did that was. And like I said, once again, he popularized it. So by whatever, that's not taking anything from him because it wouldn't be as fresh as it is today had it not been for Ha. So he deserves all the credit for what he did.
I ain't gonna lie. And this is no slight to Ha either. I put him on the Mount Rushmore of social media comedy.
Without a doubt. That man is hilarious. So, but yeah, like that's how you earn respect. If somebody say, yo, like, I feel like you bit something from me, you talk it out and be like, dang, like this does seem similar. I can see why you'd be upset. Like that wasn't my intention. I'm not even familiar with your content, whatever. Right. and y'all could chop it up. Y'all could work together, whatever, to make it, blow over. Now, what I don't like is when random niggas pop up and start talking about you stole something, and you don't even know who they are. Like, come on, bro. Like, what you talking about or what you trying to claim is something that everybody does. But I definitely feel you on that. Like I said, that's the easiest way to earn respect, and it just needs to be done more, especially in this era where everything has been done. Like literally everything that we do has been done. You just got to find the one thing that you can change to tweak it to make it your own.
Right.
So if you put a referee shirt on, everybody don't want referee shirts, but what are you doing with that shirt while you got it on? So that's what it comes down to. And
then the problem in that, it again goes back to wanting somebody to be in a box because you feel entitled. Mm-hmm. I had to stop doing the referee thing for a while because people wanted to only see that. Yeah. And it's like, yo, for one, I'm not a real referee, number one. This is just some additional shit that I'm doing for you guys' pleasure. But this ain't social media in general. I'm not even really a big fan of it because of the other side of social media, what causes people to go crazy in their psychological. Like, there's pros and cons to this social media shit. So it's like, there are other people that don't give a fuck about your psychological. They want to make a bag off you, and that's it. But for me, it's like, I'm a human. Mm-hmm. And even though I have dreams and aspirations, I want to make sure I keep my personal mindset and who I am always intact. What are certain things that you do to constantly make sure that you are intact with yourself?
The thing with me is that I don't hesitate to step away. So I think a lot of people have this mindset, no day off, it's got to be the first one awake. I got to get to work. Somebody's going to outwork me. That's cool. But at the same time, you got to realize that your sanity comes first. Right. I've seen a lot of people in this influencer lane battle depression. Some people off themselves already. Like, this stuff is real.
People that commit suicide?
Yeah.
From social media?
Yeah. Like, I can't remember the dude's name, but he was a YouTuber. Even Hot Damn I Rock. Like, he went through his depression phase, and he lost a couple of homeboys, and he's so busy trying to create content for people, while everybody's passing away around him, he's worried about creating content for people. So that type of stuff can really mess you up. Katie the Dawn, she just came out recently talking about how she was battling depression and didn't know what to do because she felt like she was, living in a trance. So a lot of people don't understand. We're constantly thinking, constantly on our phones, trying to figure out what next thing we do. We entertain, but at the same time, got to remember that we can maintain who we are as people and sustain our stability, because you can really lose your mind when you get caught up in the numbers. You put out a video that you thought was going to do numbers. It only get, 100 likes. And you like, damn, bro, like I thought this was going to be the one. So your head start messing up. My numbers are dropping. Yo, what am I going to do? This is how I eat. So it's really just me. I'm like, if I'm tired, I'm fed up, or I'm not in the mood, I'm out of it. Like I take a hiatus for how many days that I need. I'll post some old stuff. And that's it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I need this sound to clear. All right. Sorry about that, guys. It was a little bit of interruption.
And that's one of those hit-ass moments.
There you go. Right on the money. Hey, so listen, we're about to, first and foremost, again, it's time to cook something. One of the hottest new radio shows / podcasts in the DMV with your guy, Hilarious Omar. I'm accompanied by a special guest, social media star, NBA commentary guru, the kid Gowie.
I like how you put so much emphasis on the boy. You feel me? Guru? Come on now. I ain't never got that one. Hey, Guru!
Hey, you know a lot about the game, and you always keep us updated, man. So I got to put respect on it.
For sure.
Let me go to this chat real quick and see what the people are talking about at home. Let's see here. So I got a fresh new chat. If my producer, if you could go ahead and put the phone line for people that are still tuning in to call in on. Shout out to Adam. It's his birthday. Shout out to Adam, everybody. Y'all show Adam some birthday love. And if you want to call in to Be Exposed Radio right now, you can do it. It's time to cook something with Hilarious Omar. The number is 443-642-9403. Again, if I move too fast for you, something's wrong with you because I went slow. That number is going to be 443-642-9403. While we wait for those lines to add up, we got to get in the sports talk for real, man.
Oh, yeah, you know, that's what I do.
When it comes to what's going on with the LA Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, before we jump into basketball, we had a big sports moment over the weekend. Okay? We had a huge sports moment over the weekend.
Yes, sir.
We had Morgan Freeman versus James Earl Jones. And then we had the 3-time NBA dunk contest champion versus, what's his name? Jake Paul?
Jake Paul, yeah.
First, we got to start off with Jake Paul and Nate Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though, first and foremost, Black people, we got to get out of this mindset of thinking just because we Black, we can whip everybody's ass. We got to get out of that mindset. Just because you Black don't mean you can whoop ass. Especially people that's dark-skinned. Like, people that's dark-skinned, like, and I'm talking about darker than me and you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they try to intimidate you at the club. It's the dark-skinned nigga looking crazy in the corner, just mugging. Motherfucker, if we really get into it and I fuck you up, I believe that I should be able to walk away with your flesh, like, in a bag, because you fucked it up for dark-skinned niggas. Dark-skinned niggas are supposed to be able to whoop ass at a alarming rate. Way to point to it. You so scared of people that's dark-skinned, you don't even want to get into an argument verbally with them. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if they got the yellow Jordan eyes.
Jordan eyes.
that add a +10 to the fight.
Shout out to gout. Not gout. What's the eye disease that turn your shit yellow?
I don't even know what that joint called. I just know Jordan got the yellow eyes, boy.
No, we're not gonna go there. I'm not gonna say that. It's something else that caused the eyes to be yellow. I'm not gonna say what he said. He said sickle cell. He's gonna say sickle cell. Nah, man. Hey, keep on drinking that orange juice. But some niggas be dark skin with the yellow eyes. Look like somebody threw cheese in your eyes. But listen, the way we gotta stop thinking that we just gonna jump in the ring with somebody untrained and whoop ass just because we strong. Boxing, you like Snoop Dogg said, boxing, you don't just give it a try.
Nah.
Like, that is a whole nother. You don't just pick up boxing. How do you feel about the Nate Robinson knockout?
Yo, it's funny because before the fight, like, I've collabed with Nate before. Now that you mention it, like, I've collabed. What you want to say, guys?
The yellow disease in the eyes is called jaundice. My producer just sent me the message.
All right,
that's the yellow eye disease. It's called jaundice.
So
I'm not laughing at people with jaundice. I'm just laughing at motherfuckers that walk up to you, ask you questions, and ignore the fact that their white part is yellow.
Shaking my head, bro. But yeah, so like, it's funny because I actually collabed with Nate before. We did a video through Whistle Sports. We played horse together on the basketball court. And, you know, Nate's a real cool dude. And I know his work ethic. Like, I know that he really maintains his body, all that stuff like that. He makes sure he's always ready. So believe it or not, my money was on Nate.
For real?
My money was on Nate because I was like, bro, like, Nate had like a year to prepare, to train and stuff like that. You know, his form looked kind of good. Like, he looked polished, so looked like he can go toe-to-toe with somebody. Like I said, his cardio was up to par. He was running like 6 miles a day, doing 2 a days and all that other stuff. So I'm like, all right, Nate putting the work in. He trying to really get it done. But here's the thing.
All that cardio get knocked out in round 2.
Hey, but hold on. This is what happened. This is where he went wrong. Because you wait until the actual fight when you really got to execute the thing as perfect as you possibly can to survive.
Right.
He went in there with no technique.
He went in there angry.
No technique. Angry, bro. Like, I don't know. I'm sure Nate has been in fights before, but I ain't never seen a fight where somebody immediately charges to the person and just start throwing punches. Like, you making yourself too vulnerable.
This ain't a fight at the mall where somebody grab your girl's butt. This is boxing, man.
But even
he would have been able to land a punch had he tried to dunk on Jake Paul. Had he tried to dunk on him, like jump in the air and did something off the wall, he had a better opportunity landing something than just going in there, leaving his jaw unprotected like that.
But even still, like, even if a chick grab you, even if a dude grab your chick butt at the mall, what you gonna do? You gonna square? All right, like, what you trying to do? You gonna pull your pants or stand there like, you know, square up a bit. Right. Nate was just like just ready to. I'm like, bro,
he fucking sucks. Nate Robinson, if you hear this, what you want? Because you probably still sleep.
Hey, bro. See, look.
Stop boxing, man. Don't ever. He talking about a rematch. I heard somebody talking about a rematch.
Hey, look. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to slander Nate once again. Nate is a cool dude. I had my money on him. I lost some money. I ain't tripping on it. You feel me? I have faith. But if you going to box, use your technique, bro. You got to spar a little bit. Because the thing with Jake Paul, he's experienced. He got 2 fights under his belt, and he been,
not only
for about 2 years.
To add to what you just said, not only is he experienced, he's a fucking licensed boxer. Regardless of his YouTube fame, this motherfucker spars probably 3 times a week. He takes the sport very serious. This is not a fucking joke to him. Nate, you thinking you gonna go in the ring and dunk on somebody? It don't work like that. We're not shooting threes, Nate. We ain't hooping.
Hey, I feel like that's the size thing. Even though Nate was smaller in height, he was bigger in stature. Like Nate is, he built. So it's kind of like, I feel like people get that extra confidence because they lift weights or they all ripped up. And it's like, bro, if you
they 5'9" and can dunk.
Bro, if you watch UFC, MMA, like, dudes that be 250 just be getting washed, bro.
Absolutely. Hey, we're gonna go to our caller. Caller, are you there?
Yo.
Hey, what's happening, man? State your name. Where you calling from?
Oh, this Chris, man. I call me East Baltimore. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's happening, Chris? It's time to cook something. What you got for us?
It's time to cook something. Give me 30 seconds with him over there. Real shit, man. That nigga Nate Washington was gonna get washed, man. You seen what happened when he got fighting when Melo put the motherfucker Baltimore club punch up there. You knew that man ain't had no motherfucking no squabbles about that man. You knew he had no squabble. I knew White Boy was gonna dust him. I knew it, yeah. He gonna put him to sleep. It was an Ivan Drago moment.
People think because
if he died, he
died. The Conor McGregor. They can just jump in the ring.
I just knew it was gonna happen, man. He was talking too much shit, man. I like, yo, Shorty gonna put him to sleep, man, because he got some size, it's some thickness, but I said so he wasn't no wash, He a YouTuber, but he ain't no YouTuber, geek YouTuber, like he active. Right. So I said, okay, he better do something. But once he came out when the Knicks got beefing with the Nuggets that day, I said, yeah, he ready to get beat up. He was going. It was a lot of. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that too, though. So don't act like you don't remember when he was doing that bullshit and Melo had to sit that nigga on his pocket with that Baltimore club punch and back him like, whoa, what's up? Where everybody at? And then he got a big run up on Melo. It was like, you know what? Let me think about that one more time and back up. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you, Chris. Do you think Nate should get back in the ring again?
Hell no, man. You better go. Don't do that no more, man. Nah, man. For the culture, man. Leave that up to the professionals, man. Let Brandon Marshall or something get that feedback. Don't do that. Leave Ivan Drago Jr. alone. You feel me? It's over. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
But nah, man. Y'all one of my 2 favorite, commentators, man, and y'all local, man. I fuck with y'all real heavy, man. Hard body, man. So, I'm just
appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, Chris from East Baltimore, man. Yo, keep up the show and spread the love, man. It's time to cook something. You live with hilarious Omar, y'all. Again.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chris. You too. Happy holidays, man. Again, if you'd like to call into the show right now, that number is going to be 443-642-9403. Me and the Kid Gowie would definitely like to hear what you have to say. So please call in 443-642-9403. So
it's funny that he brought that up because that's one of the most forgotten fights in the NBA. That Nuggets and Knicks fight.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people overlook that. You always talk about the Malice and Palace, the Rockets and Lakers when Rondo fought Chris Paul, but you don't really hear about the Melo, the J.R. Smith, Nate Robinson. Like that fight was wild, bro.
Yeah, it was.
And Melo did get that clean punch off and backed all the way back to the other side of the court. Like that man was running suicides backwards, bro. Like it was wild.
Yo, and then we get into the next fight. Nate Robinson might have had a chance had he hugged as much as Roy Jones Jr.
Jeez, man.
Roy, you need love. You was listening to LL Cool J before you came out because you was hugging Mike Tyson like Ma don't need to see us fighting. Like you was brothers. Like y'all was brothers and your mother was telling y'all to keep it down and you just kept on hugging Mike over and over again.
Hey man, he was hugging him so much. I'm surprised that Wiles wasn't suspicious. Like, what type of time y'all on, bro? Hey, calm down, bro. But yeah, he was doing a lot of hugging. He was doing a lot of running. He looked like Day from Next Friday, doing all like, right. Bro, we get that's Mike Tyson, but at least we got to get at least one series where y'all just exchanging boom, 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 boom. But, I can't blame him because I can't sit here and be like, if I'm in the ring with Mike Tyson, first of all, I wouldn't be in that position in the first place. Right. But if I'm in the ring with Mike Tyson, I'm not letting you get a clear hit on me. Right. So if I got to hug you and run, that's going to be the strategy. So
for $3 million, I get in the ring with Mike right now. I wouldn't have got into an old Mike, but I get into Mike in there with Mike.
He bluffing y'all.
If he hurt, for $3 million, I get in the ring with Mike Tyson. Right now, yes. Not a young Mike, but a right now Mike, absolutely. Because if he hurt me, I'm going down. There ain't no need to get back up.
But it depends on how bad he hurt you, though.
I don't care.
Come on, man. I
don't got him turning me into a vegetable.
What was dude's name? Buster Douglas?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Don't beat him. Man, you gotta think those is licensed fighters. So they train how to take hits. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't take a punch, but it's a punch is different when it comes from Tyson.
Right. Even if it took me an hour to get my shit together, like it took Nate, I would do it. For $3 million, I'm doing it. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, bro.
And I'm landing something on Mike because Mike is a brawler. So at least I'll be able to say I landed something on Mike too.
Sure.
He might knock half a row of my teeth out.
Hey, but that man, Mike, he stayed close. If you get something, it ain't gonna be nothing that's gonna affect anything. You ain't gonna get his face.
Oh man. But yeah, that was I mean, I like the fact that I was able to see the older guys, the legendary fighters, get back in there toe to toe. It was not a fight that I would ever pay to see again. They're both, way out of their prime, way overdue. They should continue to retire and inspire new fighters. And I think that's it. Like, I don't want to see that no more. And I don't want to see people coming off the street like Nate thinking that they're going to jump in there with a licensed fighter and do something.
Right.
I don't want to see that either.
I seen Block Boy JB talking about let me get in there with Jake Paul. I'm like, boy, if you don't sit your ass
is going to sleep too, Block Boy.
He gonna put you to sleep then. Your Memphis niggas gonna come in there and try to shoot. Like, come on, bro.
You that little shake shit that he invented.
Like, come on, bro. Cut that out. Like, one thing that I will say, I gained some respect for Jake Paul. Like, Jake Paul's still corny to me, but it's like, as his craft for boxing, I feel like he's one of those guys that's actually taking it seriously.
Right.
He's putting the work in. He's sparring with people. He's whooping people's asses in sparring. It's like, Jake Paul's taking it seriously. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it was lucky, this, that, and the third. It's like, nah, like he really about that life.
Nate better play Call of Duty.
And the silver lining with the Tyson joint was the fact that Tyson still kind of looks good, though. I'm not going to cap. Like, to be 15 years past his prime, it's kind of one of them things like I expected them to both come out sluggish and whack, but it's like Tyson really kind of still had the movement, still had the strength. You could tell Roy Jones was hurting because this man was breathing like
the body blows.
He's breathing like Kendrick Perkins on First Take. Like, damn, calm down. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at watching Tyson again, but it just got to be against somebody that he should be fighting. He shouldn't be fighting Roy Jones. Like, I wouldn't even make them fight in that prime. So why make them fight now?
Right. Yeah, and Roy Jones was definitely scared to feel Mike's power. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I think Roy Jones heard about what happened in the Nate Robinson fight. And he said, ain't happening to me.
Hey, but the good thing is, if it were to happen, he wouldn't have got slandered as bad because at the end of the day, that's Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, a YouTuber. Like, I'd rather get knocked out by Mike Tyson than a Jake Paul. You ain't gonna duck them jokes.
And here's my thing. Jake Paul disrespected Nate to the max. He wore his jersey.
Oh.
He came out we're playing basketball when he did his arena walk.
Yo,
They don't get more disrespectful than that.
He was on his IG and said 3 more days until I dribble Ned before I dribble Nate's head off the canvas.
Oh my God.
And he really did it.
Yo, his fucking head bounced. them little poodle dreads was bouncing like shit off the mat, bruh. I said, oh nah, you done set black people back about 30 years fucking with him. Then Trump supporters was probably going crazy.
Oh, they was probably going crazy. But I think what made me mad about this whole Nate situation is the people that's in his DMs acting like this isn't a sport. Like
right.
If something like I'm gonna say this right now. If something embarrassing happens to me, by all means, flame me up, bro. Like if I put myself in an embarrassing situation and I get exposed, flame me up. Don't come in my DMs or my IG comments talking about it's okay, bro. Keep your head up. You'll get them next time. I remember the time when you beat up that dude at the bar. It's like, bro, don't remind me about no old fights I won. I just got knocked out on national television. Like I don't care about none of that. Like it's
Every
crazy.
Fire stick had him sleep.
It's crazy how people want to get so soft in the moment. Like, yo, you called him out. You called him out. You talked trash. You said you wasn't going to bow down. This, that, and the third. And he bodied you, bro. Like, what is there to talk about? It ain't no sit here, get a get well soon card and give sympathy. Like, you got to take the smoke. You gave the smoke, take it.
Man, Nate, if you can hear me, brother. You sleep? All right.
Hey, yo, you got it.
Hey, if y'all want to call in, it's time to cook something with hilarious Omar. Special guest, the Kid Gowie.
Yes, sir.
443-642-9403. We're going to keep the conversation rolling, man. Getting into the NBA. What do you think about the trades? Well, first and foremost, speaking of LA, was LeBron James' 4th championship with LA, is it credible? Because there's a lot of people out there saying that, oh, man, due to the pandemic and things of that nature, is LA's championship with LeBron James, is it credible?
Yes. And the main reason why I say it's credible, because I feel like a lot of people underestimate how difficult it is to win a championship outside of your comfort zone.
Okay.
So, number one, there's no crowd. You're not surrounded by family. You can't go nowhere. You're isolated on this campus. Can't leave your hotel room. Can't go into other hotel rooms. Can't invite people into your hotel rooms because Daniel House got knocked for that. So, yeah, a lot of people saying, oh, like it don't count because this, that, and the third. It's like, bro, like you out of your element. That's like if you go on a business trip for a month and you staying in a hotel, eventually you're gonna be homesick. You're gonna be like, yo, like this is old.
Right.
Like there's been times where I go to LA and I'm set to be out there for a week. And by the 3rd or 4th day, I'm like, all right, bro, I'm trying to bounce. Like it's just, after a while, it's time to go. But they were there for what, 2 months? 2 months straight. Can't see your family, none of that. So it's like, yo, you're really out of your comfort zone. And then on top of that, people are saying it's not credible because the Lakers didn't play anybody. It's like, yo, they played the best of the best.
Right.
You can't get mad because the Clippers weren't good enough to beat the Nuggets.
Right.
Because the Clippers were supposed to be the matchup. It was supposed to be the battle of LA.
Exactly.
But them niggas flopped.
They didn't even get to LA.
They bluffed and they lost.
And because they lost, they don't even belong in LA.
Facts.
Move them to Vegas with the Oakland Raiders, please. LA, I mean, when you think of LA, you forget that the Clippers even share the same Staples Center. So, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think Paul George is leaving the NBA with a ring.
Nah.
I think that he's been a curse. And I appreciate Paul George, but if you just look at Paul George's, the tragic things that have happened in Paul George's career, he goes up to finish and his leg slides underneath.
That was one of the worst things I've seen in my life, bro. I've seen that live too. I was watching the game when that happened, bro. I was like, yo, that is crazy.
Paul George went to finish and his leg slides underneath of the basketball platform, the hoop, I don't know how what the politically correct terminology is for it. His leg slides into that and he shatters his femur bone, which is the hardest bone in the legs to break. He starts off with Indiana. He gets traded to Houston, right?
No, he got traded to
OKC first.
Yeah.
He goes to OKC, does nothing. Goes to Houston after that, right?
Mm-mm.
Not Houston.
Went to LA.
Went to LA to play with the Clippers. they lose. They don't even get to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, I think it definitely is a curse of Paul George. I don't ever want to hear people comparing Kawhi Leonard to LeBron James because, excuse me, in those circumstances, Kawhi, you're being, put in the same conversation as the greatest player in the NBA, and you don't even finish off. Who were they playing?
They played the Denver Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets. You couldn't finish off. And Denver is a great team.
Facts.
They're definitely a great team, but you couldn't even step up. Fourth quarter, you averaged, 8 points or something close to that?
Yeah, something crazy.
I mean,
like, you got to look at it. Like you said, Denver's a good team, but you're taking Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic versus Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Which two people are you picking? Which duo you want to pick?
Right.
So let's keep it real. And I think this loss really showcased, or I should say exposed Kawhi Leonard's lack of leadership. Because a lot of us gave him credit for his leadership when he won the championship for Toronto. It was like, oh, he finally got them over the hump. They won. But at the same time, people don't really consider, they don't take into consideration that the Warriors were injured.
Right.
So, not to take away from the championship, Raptors still won. By all means, celebrate. Right. But then when you come over to the Clippers, this is your team. Right. There's no Kyle Lowry. This is you, Kawhi Leonard. You're our guy. We're building around you.
Right.
And you blow a 3-1 lead. So it's like, were you really the leader over in Toronto, or was Kyle Lowry still the leader over there, but you just did a lot of the groundwork to make it happen?
Right.
So, that's those questions that you got to ask yourself as a basketball fan. And do you give Kawhi his credit, or do you take it away?
Well, I'm not going to take away what's already been done. Mm-hmm. One thing that I notice about being an athlete in general is when you accomplish one thing, it's that much harder for you to find motivation to accomplish more.
Thanks.
So when it comes to Kawhi, I tip my hat to him for what he's done, but I definitely would test his heart as far as what are you going to do next. Mm-hmm. Paul George, I don't like your game. Not a Paul George fan. Probably fuck with you personally, but not a big Paul George fan. Speaking of LeBron James is my favorite player. He's always and there's several reasons why, because I know it's a lot of people at home right now that despise LeBron. Might even go as far as saying hate LeBron. Mm-hmm. LeBron James is the most scrutinized player we've ever had in the NBA.
Without a doubt.
When people like to forget what they've done when they do it, you know how people are. Mm-hmm. They slap you in the face and be like, hey, why'd you hit me back? You fucking slapped me. You feel what I'm saying?
Nigga, that was weeks ago.
LeBron James, from the time, because when LeBron James was in his senior year of high school, I was in my freshman year of high school. Yeah. LeBron James goes on to the NBA straight out of high school. And there were so many people that said LeBron James will not be a successful NBA player. Mm-hmm. He would not be able to transfer what he did in high school into the NBA. And to see him he's not just a good player. He's arguably the greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. And he goes with all that scrutiny. This kid from Akron, Ohio, okay? You ever been to Akron? Do you want to go to Akron?
No.
Would you go there for hey man, I'm about to go out of town.
Man, I've been there for business. Would I go there for vacation or something like that? Never.
I wouldn't go to Akron or Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland, and that's not a destination. That's not a tourist spot. At the end of the day, this man, he's not even from Cleveland. He's from Akron, Ohio, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Cleveland. And he goes off to be one of the greatest players we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. He has the most scrutinized player we've ever seen.
Facts.
And people, instead of acknowledging the fact that he's part of the reason why you continue to watch the NBA.
Yeah.
He's part of the reason that keeps the NBA respectful, even though Kobe's not even there anymore. Mm-hmm. There's no real reason. As far as being a larger than life NBA player that you want to see, and you want to get your money's worth when you spend money by taking, it's LeBron James.
Yeah, there's nobody like him. Like you get those generational players. So you get your Wilt Chamberlains, you get your Magics, Birds, Kareems, you get those guys. And LeBron's like the last of that as of right now. And I feel like we won't see the next until LeBron's gone. But at the same time, with that, it also comes personality, because it's not just how good you play, it's what you can bring to the game. And that's why Michael Jordan is so glorified, because he brought a lot of attention to the game itself, playing in the Olympics and getting other people from out of the country. Like, yo, he really liked that. Like, who is this guy? Right. So, you know, that's what LeBron is to us. Like, LeBron makes everybody a fan. Everybody knows who LeBron James is, even if you don't watch basketball. Like, that's how large his name is. And I think he's one of those guys that won't get appreciated until he retires, just like Kobe.
Right.
Like, Kobe got a lot of hate. And I'm not going to lie, I was a Kobe hater at one point because I'm a LeBron fan. And it was one of those things where Lakers fans was just delusional. Like, they kept saying, like, Kobe was better than LeBron. I'm like, yo, what does Kobe do better than LeBron? And they couldn't name anything outside that he had more rings. So it's like, you know,
rings or that time he scored 81.
Yeah. So, you know, that's cool. But at the same time, if we talking about overall skill set, there's never been a player like LeBron James, bro. Like, this man is just a freak of nature. And like you said, scrutiny. I think the scrutiny comes from not being able to see him lose.
Right.
So you can watch him lose in the finals, but what's LeBron going to do? Still go back and win another year, or he's going to go to the finals again. So it's like, now we counting how many finals he lost versus how many finals he's been to.
Right.
So, you've been to the finals this many times. Oh, but you lost this many. It's like, bro, some people don't even see the finals a single year in their career, and they all-time, you know, crazy position type of players, Hall of Famers, ain't even touched the finals once. And we talking about this guy, how many finals he lost. Bro, just to even get there, like, and not to do the participation trophy thing, but even if you being technical, he still gets the Eastern Conference championships and stuff like that. So those are still banners in some arenas. So it's like that man's still doing something. He's still accomplishing something. It's just not the big one.
Right.
And that's why they try to take away his ring. This one doesn't matter.
Now, here for the people that are tuning in, again, I'm gonna give you that number one more time if you want to call in and join in this conversation, because we're about to cook something up right now. It's about to get real. 443-642-9403. It's about to get heavy. LeBron James is the biggest name in basketball today.
Mm-hmm.
He is compared to Michael Jordan, probably more than Kobe. My personal opinion when it comes to the Kobe and Mike situation, I exclude Mike from the conversation based on the fact that it's almost like he's Michael Jordan Jr.
Thanks.
He emulated Michael Jordan to the T. His movement, his gestures on the court, from, you know, his celebratory gestures, the way he just pretty much everything about the game is an emulation of Michael Jordan, which caused me to not be a Kobe fan, because you literally are a spitting image of somebody we already. I'm not a guy that embraces copycats.
Okay.
I respect Kobe Bryant for how great he was, because he is great, make no question about it. But I've never been a fan of Kobe Bryant. I believe that, and this isn't just about Kobe. This is how I feel about everything. Excuse me, how I feel about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
If you're imitating somebody to gain some sort of position when it comes to sports, entertainment, your job occupation, no matter what it is, when you're imitating somebody to the T, I can't give you the recognition or the props that I gave the person that I saw do it first. I just can't.
Yeah.
When it comes to Michael Jordan and LeBron James, I literally have had conversations over and over and over again. And it's, even though I'm a LeBron James fan, I'm a fair person, and I have to analyze things on a fair level. After I've done my research, these are the keys when it comes to the comparison. Michael Jordan was the most marketed NBA player of all time. When you're the most marketed person, thing of all time, you're going to gain popularity from people that aren't even interested in what you do, because you're marketed. You're in front of people's eyes. Popularity-wise, Michael Jordan is the most popular NBA player of all time. And it may never change, because Michael Jordan came in the NBA at a time where the NBA was suffering to the point where It might not have been an NBA, or it might not have been the big thing to watch once the NFL was done. It could have been something else like fucking field hockey. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Michael Jordan came out. He was athletic. He was dunking on people. He was slender build. So, people don't like seeing brute motherfuckers because it's like, that motherfucker can kick my ass. It's psychological. But that's what people don't even understand psychological. But I do. LeBron being his size and everything, it's like he gets treated like a slave almost. Like, motherfucker, you so huge, you supposed to be able to dunk with 3 motherfuckers on your back.
You should be doing that. You don't get credit for that. You should be doing
exactly.
it. So I get it.
Here goes Michael Jordan. He's more slender built. He's bald headed. He comes in a time of the game where
when did the bald head have to do with anything?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you see how he tried to throw a jab on his
no.
Michael Jordan, he's slender built, bald headed. This nigga was describing me.
No. I'm just saying, he came in at a time where he was just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
He had baggy shorts. He had the gold chain. This was new to everybody looking at him like, oh, and you're good. Now we have LeBron James. And here's another thing before I get into how I feel about it, because we got a lot of time.
Yeah.
LeBron James, one thing Michael Jordan did is he cemented in fans of basketball that the only way you can be great is if you score.
Yeah.
He cemented that inside fans and, people that are participating in the sport. He cemented that into our psychology that if you're not scoring the most and you're not always shooting the ball, you're not dominating the game. You're not the most on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have the ideology, a person like LeBron James will never be good to you or never be in the conversation to you because you fell in love with this ideology that if you're not the number one scorer or taking the last shot, you're not great.
Exactly. No matter how bad that shot may be, not taking that shot makes you worse or it makes you scared or whatever the case may be. So everything that you just said is big fact.
So my whole take on it is this, and I definitely want to know your opinion.
For sure.
The reason why I say LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. Don't tune out, y'all.
Uh-oh. Them calls about to come in.
You gotta hear legit reason, and I'm gonna give you our number again. It's time to cook something. You're live with Hilarious Omar and the Kid Gallery on Be Exposed Radio. Hopefully you're tuning in still.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why LeBron James is the GOAT is because LeBron James, for one, was expected to be a failure. And he did not fail. He actually superseded all of his doubters' expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, which is a huge number two, LeBron James took the worst team in the NBA to become the best team in the NBA his fourth season as a Cleveland Cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they didn't win the championship. However, they had the best record in the NBA.
And they went against the Spurs dynasty.
And they went against a Spurs team that Michael Jordan arguably might not have been able to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When LeBron James left, the Cleveland Cavaliers went to being the worst team in the NBA again. Not even Kyrie Irving, who was there 3 to 4 seasons after LeBron James left,
mm-hmm.
could cause them to be a playoff team.
218 losses.
You hear that?
218 losses.
My man with the stats.
James. When LeBron James left the Cleveland Cavaliers and Kyrie Irving led that team, they had 218 losses, bro.
And Michael Jordan, if you take LeBron James off the Cleveland Cavaliers team, the team that made a trip to the NBA Finals, and you replace him with Michael Jordan, there's no way that Michael Jordan would have been able to uproot that team and take them to the finals, the championship. Win or lose, he couldn't have did it. Number 3, people exonerate everything Michael Jordan did before his championship runs.
Facts. That's the biggest one.
People exclude the fact that this is a guy, as great as he was, I believe he lost or never made it out of past the second round for his first 6 years in the NBA or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
You know, it was between 4 and 6 seasons where Michael Jordan couldn't even get his team beyond the second round. And then when they clown LeBron for building teams is something that the NBA has been a part of or involved in since it became a thing to grab your attention and keep you entertained at home. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, no, LeBron James isn't Michael Jordan in the sense of he is taking the final shot. But does the fact that you take the final shot make you the greatest? Is the fact that it might make you a team captain. It might make you the leader of the team. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's multiple ways to lead, whether it's business, sports, parenting, being in a relationship, there's multiple ways to lead. And for that reason, I give the GOAT title to LeBron James. He now has 4 championships. He's 2 beneath Michael Jordan. And this is my last one, and I'm passing it on to you.
Yeah, you good.
My last argument when it comes to Michael Jordan not being the greatest and LeBron James being the greatest is the fact that the teams that LeBron James, when you compare the teams that LeBron James had to beat to win his championship rings, are better than the teams Michael Jordan had to beat to get his championship ring. I'm talking about in the finals. Michael Jordan beat a 73-9 Golden State Warriors team. When you compare who had to be defeated to obtain a championship, mm-hmm. Michael Jordan's teams that he had to play against aren't nowhere near as good as the teams LeBron had to play.
Nah, Jordan's team was the 72-10 one. So
exactly.
It's like, yeah,
exactly.
If anything, your squad was the one that was really legit. I mean, but try facing that, that's difficult. But yeah, I'm not mad at that argument. I feel like you made a lot of valid points when it comes to the conversation. Me personally, my situation is more complex when it comes to the GOAT conversation, because in my opinion, I feel like it's literally just that. It's a matter of opinion.
Right.
I don't think there's one clear-cut answer. And the reason why is because when I think of the sport of basketball itself, so we're talking about all levels, when you play Pee Wee, when you play AAU, all this other stuff, all levels of basketball. When you're talking about the most dominant player to ever dominate that sport, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem.
Without a doubt. He's one of the most disrespected legends of all time.
I agree with that.
And it's like, bro, when people have this GOAT conversation, it's LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, or LeBron, Jordan, Magic, LeBron, Jordan, Bird. Like, it's always the same names. And
you know why? Because those are 3 players that were marketed the most out of any other players in the NBA.
And that's a fact. They had the commercials, the McDonald's commercials, the Converse commercials, all that other stuff. So I get that. But
when I see, and I almost want to renege, because when I look at all-time leading and scoring, and I see that drastic, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is here, and it's like the closest motherfucker is like right here.
The closest, bro.
Thousands of points away. It's like, God damn, hold on.
I'm telling you, bro.
How good was Kareem?
Dominate. Like, this man, throughout his high school and college career, he probably, in total, had 4 losses. 4 losses throughout his whole high school. That's 4 years.
Yeah.
College, 4 losses total. This man got Player of the Year each, MVP in college every single year. They created rules in college called I forgot his real name. It's like Luke Alcindor.
Lou Alcindor.
Yeah, Lou Alcindor. They created rules to where you couldn't dunk because they were pissed off he kept dunking. So they made him. They was like, nah, bro. Like, Kareem can't dunk no more. We putting the ban on dunking. Nobody can dunk. He created the hook, the sky hook.
Right.
So it's like you couldn't stop him. You stop him from dunking. This man did an impossible hook. Who the hell is shooting like this and automatic with it, bro? So that's what I'm saying. Like, he always found a way to dominate the game. So if we're talking about the greatest person to ever pick up a basketball, that will always be Kareem to me. Just because you got to pay your respect to the OGs, even if hard. and he still found a. Now, if we talking about Michael Jordan, one of the things that Willen said, and Bill Russell, all these dudes that came before Jordan, they was like, they created rules to prevent us from scoring, way to let you score, because it was so marketable. Now, I'm not saying fuck it regardless, but they created certain rules so Jordan can have the fake state, like what they I forgot what the specific rule was, but it was one where you gotta pretty much like you couldn't really double team like that. Like you had to be on a person at all times. I have to be on your hip. I can't go towards the ball hand, even if there's a guy right there. We can't double team away. So yeah, it's certain things like that. And I feel like a lot of people don't take these things into consideration when you're talking about these conversations. So Michael Jordan, with all due respect, I think Jordan's still around based on of how popular he made the game. Because obviously without a Michael Jordan, there's possibly no LeBron James. There's no Nike. There's a lot of things that just don't hit the same without Jordan.
Yeah.
Like Nike was literally nothing. And Jordan made it. This man is worth a B now.
Right.
So it's like, yo, you worth a B off of sneakers. And that's just who Jordan was. So the marketability off of that, I get it. But when it comes to skill set, that's LeBron James, bro. Like LeBron James he's at the top 10 passing all time, top 3 scoring all time. Man, been to the finals probably the most out of any player. You gotta, don't quote me on that, but I feel like he's been to the finals more than anybody in the NBA.
Yeah.
And it's like consecutively. This ain't no he went one in 2007, then went in 2011, then 2019. Like this man, boom, boom, boom. You can bet your money that LeBron's going to make the finals and win. So it's like when you talk about that type of dominance, this man went back to Cleveland, bro. Check this out. Not even a politician, nothing like that. This man went back to Cleveland and created thousands of jobs.
Right.
Nigga, you a basketball player. You creating jobs for the city because you went back to take your talents there. So it's impacts like that people can't ignore, but people won't pay attention to because they want to make Jordan the man. So these are a lot of things that I think of when I'm talking about impact on the court. You leave, all the teams plummet, don't even make the playoffs. And this is a consistent thing. There's not one team that's been good when LeBron left. Not one. And then he goes to a trash Lakers team. He misses the playoffs because he had a groin injury. But before he got injured, they were the number 4 seed in the West. And he's playing with young guys, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram. These niggas wasn't making the playoffs or being fourth in the West without LeBron. So it's like, y'all gotta give credit where it's due. Like, I understand the glorification of Jordan. Y'all love him. It's cool. You could do that. But let's just keep it real when it comes to impact and skill set. Like, bro, LeBron James is one of a kind. The fact that this man is that big, he's still, like I said, top 3 in scoring, but he's a pass first player and he's top 10 in assists. So how the hell is he at the top of the scoring list?
Right.
So it's like, yo, you can't deny it. So
this is a pass first guard / forward, and he surpassed Kobe Bryant last season.
Kobe, Jordan, all them. Only people ahead of him is Karl Malone and Kareem. Nobody beating Kareem. That nigga Kareem was on some other.
Kareem was James probably had to play until he's 45 years old.
Facts. So
to beat.
That's my whole thing, bro. It's like, yo, you gotta give respect to LeBron. And once again, like I said, he's going to be one of those guys where people don't really appreciate what he did until he retires. We can talk about the super teams, the Miami Heat. He did that. Why? Because the Boston Celtics got Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. Oh, those guys are past their prime, bro. Before that, they was all-stars averaging 20 points a game.
Right.
I don't care how old you is. Right. Nigga, if you putting 20 up a night
in the NBA,
and you an all-star, I don't care if you combine with other all-stars like that. Like, bro, LeBron's not going to beat them with the Cavaliers. So he teamed up with the homies and he ended up losing to the Dallas Mavericks. But then after that, they got it rolling.
They got it together. They won 2 straight.
And then lost to the Spurs.
And then they lost to the Spurs.
Then he took his talents back to Cleveland.
Which I believe that the Spurs were on drugs. They couldn't miss. I watched that finals. I remember like it was yesterday. I was like, I cannot believe it was a dude, not Speedy Claxton. Who was the guy that because I played at Millersville University as well, and there was a guy from Pottstown. He came off the bench, and he's lights out from 3. Short dude.
He from here?
No, he's from Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania.
He was coming off the bench. He was knocking down threes after threes after threes. Spurs kept him for a long time.
Oh no, because I'm trying to remember who was on that team. I know you had
Patty Mills.
Yeah,
Patty fucking Mills. All the Spurs players had dark rings around their eyes, bro.
Patty tough though.
Yo,
Patty tough.
They couldn't miss.
Yeah, I mean, shit. That was the same thing with the Mavericks with Dirk. Bro, Dirk was on some other stuff like that fadeaway he was hitting. Nobody could stop it, no matter who they placed in front of that man. Dirk was lights out.
And it was like after that season that the Dallas Mavericks won the championship. It was like Dirk and the Mavericks organization were kind of like they invested everything from their personal health, hygiene, fucking time in the gym. It was like after that season they just started to dwindle out.
Yeah. But hey, you know, that Father Time kick in. You know, you had a older Jason Terry and you had an older Dirk Nowitzki, so you know, older Sean Marion. So that Father Time kick in, you know, it's time to start getting the new guys in.
Absolutely. Hey, y'all already know what time it is. It's time to cook something. You're live with hilarious Omar. I got special guests, social media sensation on Instagram, on the Mount Rushmore of NBA and sports. We got the kid Gowie.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, if you guys want to call in, you can do so right now. Even if you're a repeat caller, that's fine. 443-642-9403. Again, that number is 443-642-9403. Do not hesitate to give us a call. We will be notified once you are ready. Give us a call, chime in. We'd like to know, who do you think is the greatest of all time in the NBA?
Mm-hmm.
Is it LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Or maybe you have another name that you would like to mention. Please give us a call now. That number is 443-642-9403. We're waiting on you, callers. So move forward. As far as so your greatest of all, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, if we sport in basketball. Yeah.
Okay. Who in your top five?
My top five all time would be LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and probably Shaq. Of all time.
So we got Kobe, Shaquille O'Neal, and what was your fifth?
Did you say LeBron?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal.
And I said Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's Michael in there?
No, I don't think you threw Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Yeah. Michael, Kobe, LeBron.
That is a dope top five, man.
Yeah.
My top five of all time, I'm going LeBron James, Michael Jordan. I'm surprisingly going to throw this guy in here.
See, he about to be on some BS. This is about the look he gave me. Just by the look he gave me.
I'm throwing
Sam Cassell. Here it is.
Hell nah. I'm a throw in. You know what? I'm throwing in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now my last two are tricky. Because these are people that I respect, and I think that they was hoopers, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Who I got so far? I got Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right?
Yeah.
Magic Johnson.
I ain't mad at it. Yeah, popular name.
Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas.
That Isaiah one gonna raise some eyebrows.
Absolutely.
But Isaiah tough though. I feel like there's a lot of people that give Isaiah his credit, but then there's a huge amount of people that don't because of the Michael Jordan beef. I feel like if he wasn't beefing with Jordan, he would get more respect.
Right.
But that's just the Jordan impact.
And that's what happens. That's like a rapper, you know, beefing with Jay-Z.
Facts.
You're going to get shut down every time, and people not even going to want to deal with you. Like,
matter of fact, MGK just came out and said something. He was like, he feel like because he's transitioning into rock music.
Okay.
After the Eminem beef.
Yeah.
And he was like, he feels like the beef against Eminem hurt his career, so he switched genres.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah. So that's what happens when you beef with legends, bro. So it's like when you beef with the people that are deemed the greatest of all time, it's like it's career suicide at that point.
I would never beef with people that are deemed in comedy as the greatest of all time.
Mm-mm.
And the reason why, like, I don't know if you're familiar with it. I had a little, it wasn't, I don't want to be the issue, the whole, a lot of these people on social media, not saying that their situation slows up, but they need to pull from different creative sources.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to do that, and this is not just in comedy, this is in entertainment, period, is to find somebody that doesn't have as much notoriety and pull from them. That's what a lot of people do. And the reason why I took the situation or issue that I had with Duval to social media was because, for one, he knew who I was, but wouldn't communicate with me behind the scenes. So I took it to social media. Why? Because Lil Duval is not a comedic. He's not a comedic juggernaut, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He's not
a king of comedy. He's not a D.L. Hughley. He's just another funny guy that, happens to be successful. People would never put Lil Duval in like the Mount Rushmore of comedy, even if it was 20 names that you could go on it. You know what I mean?
I feel like Duval's past his comedy days. Like I remember like Comic View, he was on there and stuff like that. But after that, he kind of became that movie guy, social media type of comedian.
Yeah, like he's more heavily on social media, and he's very interested in music.
Yeah.
There was one show that he did. He was booked to do comedy, and he ended up trying to do like 4 of his songs, and he got booed. I forget. This concert took place in like the Midwest. I want to say it was either Memphis or it was somewhere around the Midwest region.
Yeah. And
people started walking out in the show because they wanted to see him perform stand-up, and he wanted to debut new tracks on his album. But yeah, like if you decide to go head to head in any genre, any field that you are passionate about with people that are considered legendary, you're not just beefing with them, you're beefing with the people that love them.
That's a fact.
So it doesn't surprise me that Machine Gun Kelly's career has pretty much been non-existent in the hip hop industry after that transaction he had.
Like that man literally switched genres. Like he's
completely
full on rock,
like Metallica,
Fall Out Boy, that type of like Green Day. Like that's where MGK is right now. There's no more rapping. Like he's completely converted.
Sheesh.
So your fan base is different when they chase your ass out the genre. Like not even like, all right, you beef with M, leave M alone. You can still do your thing. Like they made that man switch genres.
Yeah, he's probably getting hate mail and everything. Piles of dog shit in a bag, burning on his porch.
But that's the thing. Like that's the thing when it comes to rapping. Though there's some people like the rappers that's like Eminem, Logic, Tech Nine, like all those. I don't know what to call them, but like you can kind of put them together and realize the type of fan base I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but they have this core following that's just so loyal.
Right.
That it's like it ain't no way around it, bro. Like what they say goes. it ain't no back and forth. It ain't no you can beef with somebody, have the illest bars you ever put out, but when you drop your song, it's a done deal. You might as well just delete your joint that you had put up.
Yeah. So hey y'all are tuned in right now. Y'all already know what the time it is. It is time to cook something with your guy, Hilarious Omar. I'm here accompanied by one of social media's great, the kid Goey. He's one of the top social media influencers when it comes to sports. Right now, we got the lines open. If you're still tuned in, please call in. We'd like to know who your greatest of all time is. Who's your top 5 and why? So if you're tuned in right now, please call in at 443-642-9403. Again, that's 443-642-9403. Also, if you have a business that you would like promoted or advertised on the show, feel free to communicate with us. BeExposedRadio.com. We would love to take you on as a sponsor or advertiser for the It's Time to Cook Something segment with Hilarious Omar. Again, we have special guests, the kid Goey, and It's really been a tremendous experience. I've been very happy to have you on my show, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
To
I
kick it with you,
having me come through.
And I know you don't collab much because you mentioned it before.
Yeah,
I definitely like to work with you.
No, it's with you. I don't even rock with you like that for real. So it's like no, but I got you. Yeah, we definitely got to do something. I mean, obviously, you have a basketball background, so it'll be easier to work with you. I ain't got to kind of give you the ropes of what to do and stuff like that. Plus, you're naturally funny, so you really do this. So it's all about with me. It's like I want my job to be as easy as possible. Right. I don't want to be the guy to have to come up with all the ideas. Then I got to coach you and orchestrate the whole thing. Like. You know what you can bring, so definitely expect something from me and Omar soon.
Y'all hear that? It's time to cook something.
What's good, young?
What's good, young?
See, I can't do it like him. That's why we have me dying, bro.
Yeah, so I gotta shout out my cousin Darnell, man. We call him Big Bub.
Mm-hmm.
Every time my cousin calls me, that's the first thing he says.
For real?
When I pick up the phone, this is no bullshit. Oh, shit, that's Bub. Hello? What's good, yeah? Yo, it kills me. And I told him, I was like, bro, because my whole family's funny. Yeah. I was like, bro, you should get into comedy, man. He was like, yeah, but first I got to start fucking these bitches raw. I said, what? What are you talking about?
Hey, priorities.
Speaking of going raw, you got any kids?
Nah, I don't.
That's good.
Man. I want to be a girl dad though. So to any shorty trying to pull up on me, you gotta be about it though. You feel me? You gotta be about it.
I mean, about what though? Like
you got it can't just be a baby mom situation because now I'm gonna be pissed off. It gotta be like something real though. Like I think that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the real thing. You feel me? But
okay. So with that being said, ladies, if you're out there and you're tuning in, my man, you're single, right?
Hey, come on, come on, man. You see me? You feel me? Come on now. They call me Morris Left Nut, shorty. You see the ball?
Left Nut. Shit.
They call me Morris Left Nut. You see the ball head? Come on now. I got you.
Hey, so ladies, if y'all are out there and y'all tuning in, my man is single and he doesn't just want to hit it and quit it. He like to have a girl, which is very unpopular. That guys would say that they would want to have first is a girl.
Hey, look, man, I didn't did what I did, bro. It's like, I feel like I reached a point in my life, and it's funny because I told somebody this recently, and it may sound mad weird, but I feel like at this point in my life, I feel like sex is overrated.
Right.
Now, people gonna be like, man, yo, this dude tripping, man. I'm about to get something tonight. Like, it's nothing like that. It's cool. But when I say it's overrated, think back to high school where a bunch of people was virgins, but you was the person that had the luxury to do it.
Right.
Now everybody doing it. You can the with all due respect, the ugliest person on the block. Yeah,
turning you down and shit.
That's the ugliest person on the block has a sex story. So it's like, yo, literally everybody gets a piece. So now it's kind of like, everybody do it. So what's the
extra? What are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, what's the hype about it? It don't have that same kick. Like, you ever had sex before? Nah, I'm a virgin. See, it's a different vibe. Like, oh, let me tell you about it, nigga. You feel me? Like, this one shorty, like, it don't have that same type of feel. Now it's just like, it's so accessible. Chicks got OnlyFans and dudes got OnlyFans too. They busting it open on theirs. Like, sex is just everywhere. So it don't really hit the way that it used to. It's not much to the imagination now because it's just free online. Right. So that's kind of where my mindset is.
The way I look at it, piggybacking off what you said, I look at it as you got the pond, the lake, and the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
When you was in high school, middle school, high school, that was the pond. Then for some of us that were young adults, you either went to college, trade school, or maybe you just fucked around in your early 20s. That's the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're done with that shit and you actually start getting bills, that's the fucking ocean. In the ocean, you see, when you was in the pond, you got to be able to track what other species was in the fucking water. Motherfuckers that got herpes, motherfuckers that got HIV, but not too many of them are going to tell. They're going to transfer schools, but motherfuckers that had sexual, so-and-so is burning. Yeah. Don't fuck with that. So-and-so is a hoe. Don't fuck with that. Once you get to the point where it's an ocean, bro,
I get it.
Everything is out. You just in a wide open water, and you gotta pray that your conscience leads you to a situational relationship with somebody that is not going to be harmful or detrimental to you.
That's a fact.
And like in this whole world, this whole ocean, like me and you, like, see, I'm not one that's new to being well received by the ladies.
Yeah.
Once I hit puberty, and you know, I used to get clowned in elementary school for being the tallest motherfucker in elementary school because you know you got to line up by height and shit.
Yeah.
I'm tall as bogus with the motherfucker.
Shoes floppy and all that.
Once I got to middle school, I was cool. Like 8th grade,
yeah,
because my maturity and where people were at, like the way I looked, matched where people thought, you know, girls want to be fast and grown. So now I'm desirable. I'm still selective of who I'm gonna deal with.
Yeah.
Once I got to high school, it's even better. Now I'm an athlete. Now I'm on, you know, I'm at the main event. It feels like the main event, but it's not. Then you get to college. Once I got to college, I've realized, okay, I am desirable. You know, women do look at me or give me the benefit of the doubt versus other guys out here doing any and everything to try to get the pussy.
Yeah,
exactly. You feel what I'm saying? I can be myself and still hit versus you done ran up a tab of $120 and you still ain't hit. Me, I'm, you know,
buying all that Gucci, still ain't getting no Gucci, nigga.
All that Gucci, still not getting no Gucci. So at the end of the day, once college was done, I started getting more scared about who I was dealing with because you start hearing stories with different people like, yo, so-and-so was burning. Yo, she gave so-and-so herpes. Well, she got it from this dude over here. It was a grown dude. He was like 35 years old. She was into older men, and this motherfucker burnt her. He talking about he don't know where it came from. When you start hearing these types of stories, it's like, hold the fuck up. Let me put my dick in a box real quick by itself.
Yo, but that's real though. Like, that's the thing. Like, when I say like sex is overrated, like a lot of that stuff, also the overrated aspect, and not to make it turn dark, but you talk about, sex, sexual forcing chicks to have sex with you,
right?
Like the abusive side of things, and like you said, the extra lengths that people are taking to do it, and people, you remember when Backpage was a thing? Like niggas was on Backpage. It's like, damn, bro, like sex is really that important to y'all to where you got to do all of this, and that's why I have this mindset like it must be overrated to me because I don't view it as that. Now, if I'm kicking it with a shorty, we enjoying each other company, and one thing leads to another. Boom, that's a moment thing. But am I going out of my way? No, like never. I'm never going out of my way. So that's kind of where the overrated aspect comes for me because it's just like, yeah, it's cool, it's fun. You do what you do. You have your time, but I'm not doing the most to get it. Like it's not that for me.
Hey, ladies, y'all hear that? At the end of the day, February is right around the corner. Valentine's Day. Stop bullshitting, okay? One of the things that I have noticed when it comes to relationships is the fact that women, when it comes to male and female relationships, a lot of women out there, they don't even know who to pick from because women, they get dick offered to them all day long.
All day long.
So when it comes to people of quality, and this is something that I am a girl dad. So with my daughter being only one, I got years to have to worry about this, but at the same time, one thing that I feel troubles women is the fact of you got so many guys hitting on you. You got so many guys offering you dick. How do you assess what's quality for you versus what's just another fucking guy added to your body count? Struggle with that shit. Real. Like, used to live in York, PA. York, PA is a piece of shit town. I lived there on and off for like 5 years.
Well, there go to York, PA viewers.
No, York, PA, y'all know what the fuck is going on, city. Shit, y'all got to deal with racism and still have to go to the bar. People from York, they know what time it is. I'm on the money. By saying that, I mean, if you don't see value or worthless, I'm sorry, if you don't see value in yourself and you feel like you're worthless, the people that you're going to be attracted to are people that got shit with them. Like, men like to, what they call it, upgrade. Beyonce came out with that song. And will shoot their shot because to men, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Men will play the numbers game all day long. Women happen to be the victim of the numbers game because eventually you're going to open up to one of these motherfuckers. The thing is, if you understand the guys are playing a number game, you still constantly have to, you got a job to do as well, ladies. You got to be selective of who you allow in your presence, who you allow in your body. Because it's a numbers game, that men, you might have overlooked somebody that could have been of quality, but when I'm now accepting applications. It might be an application from 2 weeks ago that you might want to fucking pick up.
Yeah.
That was of quality. This motherfucker's resume meets your shit to the T. But now you done threw all them resumes in the trash. Now these next 15 applicants, none of them are qualified.
They drag us.
But you need somebody to fill the position. That's where you fuck up.
But that's a fact. I feel like the hardest thing for the women is that for them it's trial and error. So it's like, I have to give this dude a try to see if he's the one. I have to give this guy a try to see if he's the one. And I think the biggest misconception when it comes to women is that they think that sex is the deciding factor. So what I mean by that is they feel like if I let him hit too early, he's not going to like me, or he's not going to take me seriously. Or if I make him wait 3 months, he'll stay longer. That don't mean nothing. There's some dudes that will play the long game to hit and then bounce. And then then when you make him wait as long and he hit, he gonna be like, man, it wasn't even all that. Like, I didn't waited 3 months for that. So it's weird. It's no real answer to it. So yeah, you can play the long game. But with me, I feel like it's a communication thing. Like, before anything go down, really communicate with people that you talk to. Like, even just me kicking it with Omar, like, I'm not going to come on this show if I didn't know the type of person that Omar was. Like, I'm not going, he could have hated me behind my back talking mad trash. And then I pull up to the studio and then we act like we buddy. Like, I can get the feel.
Or I catfish you to get here and I'm fucking slandering you.
Right.
Yeah, so let me tell you what shit wasn't funny,
like, hey, look,
in my opinion.
Time to cook something up. He could have came here and just flamed me up the whole time, right? So yeah, it's like, it's about communication, bro. You really got to communicate to figure people out, see what their mindset is, see if things align. And that's really how you figure out who's the right one for you. Now, people are going to give you the sweet talk. They're going to say whatever they got to say, but you got to be able to read people. You got to see the actions got to align with the words. Okay. So if I say, oh yeah, I'm a nice guy, but whenever we get in a discussion, I'm calling you a bitch. Right. Like, obviously those things don't align. Like, it just don't work that way. I can say that, oh, I respect women, but I disrespect my mom whenever I'm around her. Like, you got to align the words, with the actions. And that's kind of how you really get that feel for who the person is. But, I ain't Dr. Phil or nothing like that. But, I just had to drop that piece.
Nah, man, this is pieces that people need to hear. It's a lot of people struggling, as you can see, pre-COVID and post-COVID. When it comes to relationships, man, people can't ever get it right. Another thing that's a big part when it comes to relationship and building with somebody is accountability. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want to accept the fact that, listen, just because your zodiac sign says X, Y, and Z, that don't got shit to do with what you choose to do in your day-to-day operations and how you operate. Mm-hmm. You are you. I don't give a fuck if you a Sagittarius, Capricorn, Taurus, Libra, Leo. It don't matter. At the end of the day, if you want a successful relationship, you have to put the work in. Facts. And I know people that, will get tired of somebody after 2 weeks. Next thing you know, they got a new boat. Like Kevin Hart said, that's whole shit. Mm-hmm. And you look goofy posting them on that. Like, don't post these people on social media till it's solidified. And if you want to be a hoe, guess what? That's okay. It's okay. But be single. Be single and be a hoe. If you want guys to pay for your pussy, ask them, hey, listen, how much money you got? Off the break. Ain't no need to be building up bullshit. You need $200. All right. Hey, this dude's out here buying used panties, so you'll definitely make some money. I promise you. I promise you. All right, man. Well, that will complete it for this week's It's time to cook something with Be Exposed Radio. I'm your guy, one of the illest hosts in the area, in the DMV, hilarious Omar. Thank you so much. We got the kid Goey.
Come on, man. You already know what's up with me. It's only entertainment.
Goey, thank you so much for coming through, busting it up. That was a good Jay-Z too. Yeah.
Hey, you ready, B?
Yo, that's good. Yo, that's good.
What you want me to do? I'm sorry.
Yo, get this man his fucking just due. While you're live. Hey man, BeExposedRadio.com. You can tune into us every week, 5 p.m. It's time to cook something. Hilarious Omar, we out.